Hey, Kristen, how's it tracking?
With Carvana Value Tracker.
What else?
Oh, it's tracking. In fact, Value Surge Alert trucks up 2.5%. Vans down 1.7%.
Just as predicted.
Mm-hmm.
So, we gonna...
I don't know. Could sell, could hold.
The power to always know our car's worth.
Exhilarating, isn't it?
Tracking.
Always know your car's worth with Carvana Value Tracker.
Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
All right, listen up. The only gift that any dad wants on Father's Day is Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships the most iconic foods from the best restaurants across the country straight to his door for free. Let him kick back and chow down on award-winning barbecue from Texas, epic deep dish pizza from Chicago, or colossal pastrami sandwiches from New York. Make Dad feel like an absolute legend this Father's Day and go to goldbelly.com to get 20% off your first order with promo code DAD. That's 20% off at goldbelly.com, code DAD.
Episode 2, Lost at Sea. As we begin Episode 2, our heroes are still on board a pirate ship, being buffeted around by a brutal sea, amidst a storm the likes of which few have survived. They still don't have their memories, they don't really know each other, and they've just met a giant lion pirate who shot at them, and his friend the mouse called Loot. And none of our players really know what they're doing yet. It's just their second game. And don't forget, giant magical tentacles are wrapping around the ship's deck. But don't worry, I'm sure nothing else could go wrong.
Oh, God. They forgot to introduce themselves. Girls Who Don't D&D is Stacey as Kaa'Riin the Barbarian, Alana as Morrigan the Sorcerer, and Indy as Freya the Rogue. And now, listen as they pretend this didn't even happen. Here's your host, Cory.
Now that you guys have played your first game, was it what you expected?
It was better than what I expected.
Did you expect far, far less?
I expected far... well, first of all, I expected like a board.
Yeah.
A board, like a Monopoly board. I was like, where's the board?
And people do play with some form of board, and you can have ones with grids and all that sort of stuff. The game's so broad that you can definitely do that.
I was so excited when I was talking to everyone, like over the top excited, and they were just like blank face, like, oh yeah. Like I had a few people that cared, but my mum just looks at me like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I had lots of people interested in asking me about it, but I don't think I explained it as well as I needed to.
I think that's half the problem. It is actually really difficult to explain because you don't say, and then you just get really involved because they go, yeah, but where was the bit where you got involved? And I don't know how to, to justify that for other people or explain that to them in clear enough ways. I just fluked it that you guys were basically had nowhere else to be that time I tricked you into being here. Are you ready to play?
Absolutely.
It's just 3 girls, a pirate, and a strange little mouse. Some guys telling stories, I'm sure they'll be nice. There will be monsters, and magic, and fire and ice. But it's mostly 3 girls, a mouseling, and Dutch.
Welcome to the 3 Girls, a Mousing and Dutch show. And let me paint you a picture of what's happening. The wild winds are swirling across the deck of the Harpy's Howl. Rain lashes the sails, lightning burns the skies. But worse still, tentacles have started to enwrap the deck and are starting to pull the ship into the sea. As the vessel is being tossed around, the sailor you left below the deck somehow stumbles up the stairs. He appears dazed, confused, as though he has no purpose. And he shows no fear as one of the tentacles slams down on the deck next to him, knocking him down. 2 more tentacles follow. Give me a dexterity check to see what happens.
18.
I'm at 4.
That's a solid 1.
Wow.
Plus 1.
plus 1, which might be enough to get me over the edge.
Kaa'Riin and Morrigan, you have been knocked to the deck. So when we start in the next section, it takes you a little bit longer to get to some of the other parts. Now, there are rules for getting up, and you lose half your movement and all those sort of things, but the way we're sort of playing more in the mind. So when I say, okay, you're further away from that, that's how we're talking about movement. All right, I might say to you, you're a bit out of range for that. It might be because you've been knocked down. You can't get to that too quickly. Kaa'Riin, as your head hits the deck, you lose consciousness for just a moment, and in that moment, a memory is revealed.
Hi, my name is Annie, and I'll be playing the memories of Kaa'Riin. A sharp pain burns behind your eyes. It sears a white light into your mind. Breathe. Run, someone yells. You try, desperately, but the soft sand refuses to hold you up. You crash sideways into a metal cage. 2 startled eyes gaze back. Blue. Ice blue. There's no time, says the voice. For a moment you are lifted, almost airborne, as a firm hand pulls you away. But you break free. Grabbing a rock from the shoreline, you dive for the cage and smash against the lock. Again, and again, and again. And finally, you break through. Of course, says the voice. I should have known. Now run, both of you. Get back to the boat. And you run.
So that happened this morning.
That happened in the morning, yeah.
God, I've had a day. All right.
You've had a bit of a day, and it isn't getting any better because now there are all these tentacles everywhere. So everybody roll initiative for me. We're going to have some combat.
13.
15.
Plus 1. So I've got 7.
Well, you did get knocked down and have a whole memory just happen, so that's a little bit disturbing. You're a little dazed, I guess, from the situation. But Dutch goes first. Immediately fires at one of the tentacles that comes across the deck. He has plus 6 on that, so 16. He will hit. Good news. So he shoots one, and it sort of sprays for a moment. Bits of pieces going everywhere, but it doesn't really kill it. Okay, so there's a tentacle flicking around like it's half on and half off.
Fish out of water.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Like a rabid squirrel.
That's a little gross.
Like a lid of a shampoo bottle. Like it flicks open and it's like just...
Or like when
Yes.
you let the hose go and it goes... Meh.
I think I got the best.
Yeah, that's good. That similarly really held the tone, I think, of the situation.
We're just trying to create an experience.
Okay, so after Dutch will be Loot. Loot is not going to get involved in this too much and is going to hide. So Loot runs in and finds a good spot to hide.
Yeah, good idea,
Down
Loot.
behind some boxes or whatever, which brings us to Freya.
Can I use a shocking grasp? Lightning springs from your hand, delivering a shock to the creature you touch.
I read it as someone that just kind of like grabs you, like, oh, you startled me.
Now, you were knocked down, but you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say you're close enough to one of the tentacles to run over and grab a tentacle.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I have to roll?
Yes, definitely.
8.
Wow. You were touching it and still didn't do a good job. You ran over and grabbed the tentacle, and it's slimy and horrible and slipped out of your hand. It's as though it's remarkably as though you've never tried to grab some sort of slimy, fishy thing before. You miss, unfortunately. That leads us to Morrigan.
Hi.
What would you like to do? Tentacles lashing around the deck. One of them looks like the top of a shampoo bottle. Yeah.
I want to do.
Terrifying.
I want to do this level 2 spell because it's new and shiny and.
All right. Tell me what it is and tell me how you want to use it.
It's the Aganazar's Scorcher, which is a line of roaring flame 5 meters long and 1 meter wide that emanates from me in any direction I choose. Each creature in the line must take a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d8 fire damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one.
That's an absolutely brutal spell.
Yay!
It's a dex save. They've got to see if they can dodge it. And they do not dodge it. So we line up one of the tentacles. With that spell, you could line up a whole bunch of things and burn a line of things.
But they're not in line.
But they're not in line because they're all over the side of the ship.
Conveniently.
You get to roll 3d8
I was in 3 separate d8 dice.
and add the numbers up.
Oh, that's genius.
Or you can just roll it 3 times and add them all up.
I want to roll 3 dice.
Yeah, it sounds better, Cory.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, come on, 3 8s. 14, 15. Burn, baby, burn.
All right. It almost looks like it's screaming as you hit it.
I feel kind of bad now.
It retracts and there's sort of a hissing sound, which makes no sense because you see no mouths. And it pulls back almost into the sea, and it is definitely not dead.
We made it angry.
You definitely pissed it off. And the tentacles are indeed next. Now, here's how the tentacles are going to work. The first thing I'm going to do is roll one of these, and I'm then going to tell you who it picks. So it can miss. It's grabbed Dutch. I did not expect that, because that was a 1. And I was going to be a 1.
Plot twist.
So Dutch is being grabbed. Now, Dutch can try to use his strength, which he has very little of as well, to try and bust loose from this situation. And I've just rolled a 2, which really isn't going to help Dutch. He's been dragged into the air. Now, as Dutch gets thrown into the air by this, he's getting tipped around. So imagine he's been grabbed by the ankles, it's picked him up upside down a little bit like it's shaking him, and as it does so, you see a bunch of shiny things just drop from his pockets.
Ooh, we want these.
They clang as they hit the deck and scatter across the whole deck. Morrigan, as they do this, you find yourself drawn to them, particularly the blue and the red one, but there's also a yellow, a green, and the white. The latter is sliding towards the edge of the ship as we speak. The other 2 tentacles, one misses. Just doesn't grab anybody.
We both have a really weak fighting game by the sounds of this. The octopus sucks, we suck.
It's going to be a really long evening of people just slashing at nothing and hitting nothing. The other one has grabbed Freya. You were next to it, you did reach out to it, it's come back for you. As it does so, you have 2 options. One, you can try and make a strength check and just try and bust loose, because they're a bit like a constrictor snake wrapping around you. Or the other one is you can use your dexterity to try and duck out of the way of the last second.
I'll go dexterity.
All right, so let's see what you can do.
14.
It lifts you from the deck and starts swinging you around, and is going to actually do some damage to you. Does 6 damage to you. So now you have your hit points there on your sheet.
Yeah,
So
I'm at 16.
You're at 16, you just lost 6 more.
Right, that's
It's not
12.
Nice try. That takes us to the end of those and leads us back to Dutch. Dutch has this very cool move he can do. Dutch has a rapier, one of those pirate-style swords. I guess not the cutlass style, the more thinner ones. And he can unleash with that one first, so he's going to try and do that. And unfortunately, he's going to miss. God damn. So he's still swinging around in the air, and this time the tentacle drags him to the top of the water, so he's off the boat now. It may be pulling him under. Just throwing
we
that out
don't really
there.
know him that well, girls. Do we need to?
And isn't Freya being held by one of these tentacles and the shiny
and it's
things?
still in the air. The shiny things are just
diamonds.
on the, the shiny things are just on the deck. Freya's
Diamonds are
dangling.
forever.
Friendship is a momentary thing.
Dutch was, what, do you have a good 40 years left in him?
Dutch yells, he hits the water. I know stuff that's important.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I see. Right.
I don't
Then
know
we
why.
yell back, more important than diamonds. Dutch, more important than diamonds? Say something.
So he's right on the top of the surface of the water now, I guess, and being pulled under. Following Dutch again is Loot. Loot has the ability to heal, and Loot is going to do that with you right now. He notices Freya's in a bit of trouble and just basically zaps you. And that's going to give you, oh, nice, that's 7 hit points back.
Oh, awesome.
So you can just tack them back on, which takes us back to your turn, Freya. Now, you are dangling in the air. It doesn't mean you can't do anything except run. You clearly can't just run, but you still have all of your weapons and all of your abilities to cast spells.
Could I use my sneak attack?
No, it clearly knows where you are. Sneak attack is a very handy thing.
I understand.
Very powerful. You have to pretty much be able to catch something unawares.
My mage hand, please.
Yeah, it is mage hand, but I'd love that you're calling it the mage hand.
She's going to get my gems for me.
I mean, unless you can, I don't know. Yeah, definitely you
Let's
could do that.
start a jewelry business.
The mage hand could definitely reach out and
Or
grab.
should I be using my shocking grasp?
It is the one you can use over and over again. But don't
Okay.
forget, you also have the Sword of Deception.
Oh, okay.
Which needs its own theme song.
Thank you,
Whenever I
thank
say
you.
that, I want to go.
The Sword of Deception.
Oh, I forgot about this. I'll definitely be using that now that I know about it. Yes, please. Can I
All right.
please? To hit, I need +6 and +4 for damage. 12, 18,
Yes, you definitely hit that one. And now you roll your damage.
10.
10 points of damage to that one. That's pretty good. So as you slash this one, you slice a row of the suckers straight off the side, which might make it a little bit easier for you to break free of. So the next time around, you could use another strength or dexterity check to get away from that one if you wanted to. Morrigan, what would you like to do?
Just imagining all the suckers popping up.
Yeah. What's that like? Is it like that thing that you pop?
Yeah, bubble wrap.
Cling wrap, yeah.
Cling wrap.
Cling wrap. Jeez.
I remember as a child getting the cling wrap out.
Every time I build this dark tone for you people, the slimy tentacles slice off, and you guys are like bubble wrap. Morrigan, what do you got?
Can I just get the things that are near me that are shiny and pretty?
Absolutely, you can do
Because
that.
they're calling to me.
I'm going to roll to see where all these different gems are, and they're either closer to you or further away. Okay, so the blue one is actually moved further away from you, so we'll take a double movement to get there. The red one has moved closer to you. Red is close. The yellow one has moved closer to you. Green has moved closer to you. Yes, white has moved further away from you and looks like it's going to go over the side any time. Now, I should also say that if you come up with really cool stuff to do when you're doing this, like I run this far and slide across the deck, I might give you advantage because the story is more interesting.
Yeah.
And that would entail me usually saying, well, give me an athletics check to see if that works in your favour. If it fails, of course, and I mean really fails, it depends on what you give me. If you say, then I'm going to swing around the deck using the rope and go off the side and karate this and then dance down and pick it up, then I'm going to make that harder and harder for you to do. Yeah. If you just decide I'm going to slide across a wet deck of wood, apart from the potential splinters, it seems like a fast way to move.
Yeah, I don't think I'm dressed for that. I'm looking at my character's outfit. I'm like, yeah, nah.
Too much bear skin.
I am looking forward to having you explain what you look like. We'll leave that to a bit later on.
Well, I want the green stone because it matches my outfit.
Well, it's closer to you, so you only need to use a small bit of movement to get to it, which gives you more time to pick it up. To pick one up using a full action, you have to give me a dexterity check, and it's much easier than normal. So look at your dexterity, roll a d20.
5 + 1.
You fumble it and it just spills to the side of you, so you did not manage to pick that one up in this situation. That's back to the
Kaa'Riin
tentacles.
hasn't had a turn.
At all?
At all?
Oh, yeah, I have skipped you. Sorry, you are supposed to go after the tent. You know what? Go now. Go now. See what happens.
No, it doesn't feel the same. Just play it into the story. I don't want your pity turn.
I'm going to have to put you in there. I'm going to move you forward in the list so that makes sense.
Should I just leave?
Kaa'Riin.
I'm actually just going to jump over, go for a swim, catch a dolphin out of here. Yeah, I get up and I say, girls.
Look out.
Girls, gather around. This is not working for us. Forget Dutch, he's gone.
Wow.
We're going about this all wrong. We're being very violent. Now, I heard a story when I was younger about a lion. This is going somewhere. Who is very grumpy. Who's very angry. And it just turns out, this I've been thinking while I've been knocked out, it turns out he's had a little thorn in his paw.
Dutch yells out, "That's how I met Luke!"
Can we just check his tentacles for any starfish that might be stuck in there? No?
I'm going to give you a perception check.
Give me a perception check. Just let's have a look.
Extreme disadvantage. I wish I could make you more disadvantaged than this.
Because he might be asking for help. You know, like when a dog gets hit by a car, it's like biting at you, but it really needs help.
I got faith in you. Roll 2 20s.
Roll 2 20s because I think this octopus is a creature in need, and we're all just slicing and slashing and burning, and we don't know. We're in its territory. Okay, that's a 1 and a 2. So I'm thinking, nah.
It turns out that what you do notice about the situation is that there are tentacles attacking the ship. And they are angry.
Okay, well, I'm just kind of waking up. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. Wow.
Do you need help? No? Okay. So I've just noticed, I've done a quick scan, there's nothing stuck in his tentacles, and I scream, you have no reason for acting this way. None. Look what you made me do. I'm gonna cut you off. Just with my big gold axe. Get out of here, scamp.
Roll me a d20 and let's see what happens.
There's a 10.
Plus...
With my axe is a 5.
Oh my god, that does hit. Okay, so you slice into the tentacle. Let's see how much damage you do.
I do 3.
And the dice?
Oh. Why do you guys all know this game better than me? Which dice?
That's a 2.
Oh.
Plus the 3, though.
I'm gonna go for the one going for Freya.
Okay. It is in all sorts of trouble now. There's bits of flesh and viscous fluids flinging all over the place. That was much harder to say than you might think. So black crap going everywhere, and it's not looking well. The tentacle follows. It lashes out. I'm just going to roll this dice to see who it hits. And it hits Kaa'Riin. It grabs out and grabs Kaa'Riin, but instead of going for Kaa'Riin, it grabs the axe instead, and we're going to do a strength check to see if the tentacled creature can pull that axe away from you. So roll your strength. 15.
Plus 3.
18.
Okay, on this one, you pull the axe back, but the tentacle seems to move differently having touched the axe, almost as though it looks back at you. Now, it doesn't have any eyes, but it stops and it senses something about the axe. That's the first tentacle. The second tentacle strangely goes for Dutch. He's already under the water. Leave the men alone. Okay, the other tentacle's grabbing onto Dutch, maybe to make it worse. Holy crap, all 3 tentacles have gone after Dutch.
Maybe they're bringing him back.
He's underwater now.
You really want to save Dutch, don't you? Because I believe that we let him go.
The game doesn't always make that possible. I just rolled 2 ones in a row, so the tentacles are all after him. And he's in a little bit of trouble. He's been underwater now for not that long. Remember, the rounds are only 6 seconds. But he's been under there
for that long.
So he's in a little bit of trouble. It is Dutch's turn. I'm not going to tell you what he does under the water because you can't see.
Yeah.
You don't get to see what he's currently doing.
Beneath the sea, Dutch struggled with the giant limb of the beast as it wrapped around his chest. It wasn't a fair fight. He wedged his hands beneath the purple flesh, but lacked the strength to cause any discomfort. Strangely, the tentacle did not try to squeeze harder. There's nothing stopping you, thought Dutch. He knew his guns would not help him here. His rapier was out of reach, and the mighty roar he often relied upon in moments of desperate danger could not help him here. The turmoil of the storm raged above him. The water seemed so dark now, and a sense of calmness slowly descended. And then he remembered loot. He plunged his teeth into the tentacle and tried to rip it through. It was enough to push himself closer to freedom. Another tentacle rushed towards him, and another, but neither seemed intent on constricting him. Instead, they searched, rifling awkwardly through pockets, trying to tear away material, spinning and tilting him with no concern. His lungs began to burn, began to scream, and all sense of direction seemed lost. Beneath him, through the shadows of both sea and mind, he saw a face, a blue grimace with intent eyes, a focus brought only from centuries of malignant thought, with tentacles spewing forth from where arms should be. Dutch gasped, and the icy cold seas flooded inside. And then the darkness took hold.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Your burger is served, and this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injury is an additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
That takes us to Loot, who is now terrified and has run to the side of the deck and is looking over to see where Dutch is and is calling out his name. That leads us back to Freya. You are still being grappled by this tentacle flinging you around.
Can I have one more whack of the axe, please?
Go for it. You don't have an axe, but anyway.
The Sword of Deception.
I hit 18.
18, very good now.
Plus... You
definitely hit it. The 18 was more than you needed.
Oh, yes.
So
and
let's see what your
damage?
damage is.
6.
That was more than you needed as well, even though you can add a bit more to that if I'm not wrong. 6 plus
And
something.
4, 10.
10, definitely enough to do it. Give me a perception check.
7.
Wow, you are being held by something and didn't even notice what it was doing. It drops you back to the deck. Actually, you know what? Give me a dexterity check too. Let's see how you land.
Ooh, 22.
You land on your feet. Actually, no, you don't even land on your feet. You land like a superhero pose. You know that unnecessary landing?
Yes. With my sword of deception.
With a sword of deception, which also gets struck by lightning for no particular reason other than make it shine a bit more in the moment. Okay.
The sword of deception. I'm going to lunch.
Can I get Kaa'Riin and Morrigan to give me a perception check as well?
10.
So it's a 1.
You barely know you're on board a ship at this stage. I don't know what's going on, but you're struggling to deal with the fact that you're at sea. You're like, I booked a cruise. I don't know what's going on
Well,
here.
see, down where the cage was, that's where all the alcohol was.
At this stage, you also notice that the golem who was dazed before and has been onto the deck has risen. He's really not useful at this stage. He's not attacking you. He isn't exactly attacking the tentacle. He's just another option for the tentacle.
Should we trade Dutch for him?
I don't think the tentacle's sitting there acknowledging the situation.
Excuse me.
Mr. Tentacle.
Would you be willing to trade?
Could I have a moment of your time? But that was Freya's turn. That takes us to Morrigan.
I guess I should help with these whole tentacle situations.
You are still very close to those
I
gems.
know, but I can't get them.
I'm going to roll for them again to see what happens to them, though. In the meantime, while you're thinking about what to do, let's see what happens to them.
No,
so the blue
don't
one,
move them.
that might get closer, you know.
They won't.
They absolutely didn't. The blue one gets further away. The red one is right next to you now.
Which one?
The red one. The yellow one is also closer to you, right next to you. Got the yellow and red are close. The green one has fallen over the side.
Damn it!
And the white one has moved closer to you. You got fairly lucky.
All right, can I use my gust to gust them all up to me?
I don't really see how gust is going to affect a gem on a deck.
Floating them towards me. If I can float a human, like an average-sized creature, which, by the way, if we have giant krakens, the average-sized creature is pretty big.
Oh, I love that logic, but no, I'm not letting you have it. But at the same time, if you're going to blast them with a gust, it's not going to bring them closer. It'll push them away. Yeah, I know we're not exactly in a world of physics, but we are in my world of physics.
All right, well then I want the redstone and any other one I can pick up.
So the red one's the closest one at this stage and the easiest one to pick up. Give me a dexterity check to see if you have any troubles with that one.
13 plus 1. Look, this is why I tell you I can't get these bloody stones.
You do have the red one. They get easier when you've been close enough to them long enough. Fairly important. I mean, it might not be important. Maybe it's just a gem. Maybe it's just a random gem that fell out of some character's pocket and slithered across a deck. You actually didn't have to move to pick that one up. You could still attack.
Yeah. Or get another gem, or should I attack and help people out?
You could move to get another gem. If you did do that, the other one would be a little bit harder to pick
Okay,
up,
so
but you would
I'll
be closer
attack.
to it next time.
I'll attack. I have this inflict wounds spell.
Yeah.
Which allows me to, if I can touch the creature, I can make them take a 3d10 necrotic damage.
Good lord, that's powerful.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know much, but that sounds bad.
There is one tentacle on the deck at the moment.
And is that the one I burned earlier?
Yes.
Yeah, sucker's going down.
It is looking like it's in deep trouble. You may not have to hurt it that much.
Oh.
Is what I'm saying. I mean, you know, if you're doing the math, there's only been 3 tentacles so far. They do tend to have more than that. This one looks much weaker than because it's, again, it looks like the shampoo bottle. It's in a bit of trouble. It's dangling. It probably doesn't take as much power as that to kill it. I'm just saying. You could go after one of the other ones.
That are with Dutch?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go after one of the other ones. It's fine.
All right, go after one of the ones that's near Dutch.
14?
Is the number you have to beat. So yeah, you hit it.
Yay!
So how much damage does this one do?
I do have to touch it.
All right, so you reach out to the nearest tentacle, put your hands on it, and it blasts apart. But it is still alive.
How? I mean, the creature or the tentacle?
The tentacle is, but it is an absolute mess. It's disgusting. It's in dire straits. It's in really bad way. Yeah, but you're not even happy about that? You're not, whatever, who cares?
He's still got, 3 tentacles on him?
He does have...
He's underwater.
He's in trouble.
I've only got one of the
pretty
stones.
It's now been 12 seconds. maybe Dutch, being a lion, has exceptional underwater abilities.
Cats like water.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about cats. Kaa'Riin, it is your turn. And I must admit, you did notice that tentacle didn't notice you as much as the axe.
Yeah, so my axe has some kind of magical effect on this tentacle. This tentacle has just looked at my axe being like, what?
Yeah, it likes the axe.
It wants more of my axe. Is that what you're saying?
In its own way, yes. Possibly not in the same way you wanted to have more of your axe.
Should we all team up and just go back to back in a circle and just like...
I don't have a problem with that if you want to try and do that.
Start slicing and swishing and just see what happens. Should we gather, girls? Because I don't feel connected to you right now. I feel that we're all just... You're after gems. I don't know what you're doing.
She just landed like a superhero, remember?
Yes.
Just landed...
Oh, okay, so she's in a position to join me back to back.
Yeah.
I'd like
I'm ready to go.
All right, so it's a pretty gory situation right
Yeah.
now. So we're probably not far from killing this thing.
Well, not far from killing many of the tentacles so far.
How many tentacles are there?
Most things that I know of in the octopus world.
I meant left.
I mean, there's 8 to start with. You've blasted
I
one.
understand how many tentacles an octopus has. I just don't...
You've only seen 4. You killed one of them. Freya, the one that you sliced and killed with a bit of help before, you notice it peeking back above the water and it is growing back.
Oh, God.
Game over. What is there to do?
I know. I'm like, I give up.
So we grab our shit.
I lie down on the deck and let the tentacles take me.
I say we grab our shit and leave.
I'm coming, Butch. Screw this shit. I said Butch.
His name Dutch.
His name not Butch.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I have amnesia. Dutch, I'm going down. Oh, girls, I'm exhausted. This thing won't die.
But it grows back if we attack it.
A little bit. There is one that didn't grow back yet.
Which one's that?
Is it the axe one?
The one you shot with fire.
Okay, so let's burn this mother down.
All right, let's back to back and we can cover each other. We defend Morrigan while she's just shooting fire.
So Kaa'Riin moves to the mast.
I don't know boat names.
Previously referred to mask.
Look, I'm moving to the centre of the mast.
Okay.
And I am there because I'm just stepping back, I'm assessing, and I'm screaming, girls, come back to back me. Like they do in Charlie's Angels. Go, back to back me.
Well, can I be Cameron Diaz?
Yeah, I'll be Lucy Lou.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that works out great.
Back to back me. I'm going to cover you while you do what you need to do. We'll keep slicing and dicing. Morrigan, girlfriend, use that fire because it didn't grow back. They keep growing back. She's like, what? I'm like, they keep growing back. Could you? Yeah, the fire. Yeah, back to back me. All right.
Can she do something other than move? Can she slash before we take our turn?
I think you could have hit before. You could have hit it before you left, but now it's out of range. So you've moved away from it. That's all right.
Edit it out. I'll go back and slice it and then go back.
It's the tentacle's turn. Let's see what the tentacle does this time. Wow. Okay, one of them misses entirely. 2 of them now grab Kaa'Riin. And by grab Kaa'Riin, I say they grab her axe. Again. Both of them this time. So now you've got 2 strength checks to make. And I can suggest something at this stage if you really wanted to do it.
Yeah, help out.
As a barbarian... So as a barbarian, you have the ability to rage out, which gives you advantage on strength checks.
But this will be my second rage out and I've only got 3.
And you'll get them back when you have a long rest. Hopefully you're going to survive this. I mean, this could be the shortest podcast in history. Episode 2, the tentacles kill them. But if you survive this, then perhaps you'll be in a position where you can relax. Okay, 2 D20.
Oh, D20s.
Yep, or roll it twice and pick the highest.
Oh, 19.
That's a 19. So the first tentacle is not successful against you. So the second one is also trying to get the axe. Another D20.
Does she do both?
You can do 2 D20 because you're raging out, right? You did rage out, right?
I'm raging. Yes,
Well,
that's what I said.
I figured that.
That was implied. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad I rolled a 20! Oh, I'm back, baby! 20. Boom, and a 15. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the 15 means nothing, but the 20 is absolutely spectacular. So
back.
you've ripped the axe back from it, and this time it's very clear that it is trying, the 20 gives you a little bit of an insight into what's going on here. They don't care about you at all. Right? They are here for the axe. And you also notice they seem to be trying to find other magical things. So they're slapping around the deck a little bit, trying to grab those gems as well. In fact, the reason why they probably pulled Dutch over is because there might be some residue of some sort in the pocket that he was holding those gems, and they think he's magical. That might be wearing out now that he's drowning, but...
I see.
This may not necessarily be about you.
Great. All right, girls, let's throw these into the ocean, let them have it, and sail on out of here.
Which, in Morrigan's head, seems like the worst thing in the world to do. There are voices screaming at you inside your mind, don't let the blue gem go.
Even though the green is gone.
Green's
and went
gone.
I know, but it went with my dress, like my outfit. It's fine. Whatever.
Green's gone. Blue, red, yellow, white. Still on the deck somehow. We're back to Dutch.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing some stuff under the water.
Let me just write down just writing down how many seconds now he's been underwater. I'm sure this is going well.
241.
If they were after the stones, then he doesn't have the stones anymore. They should be letting go of him and moving on.
They're not logical.
Yeah,
If you want to save your dude.
Mark, do you want to be puppet master?
Yeah.
No, sorry. I'm trying to help his character.
Look, it's not my character. There are many characters that I play.
Do you have a voice for all of them? Because you made a voice for this one.
I did, and that was, it's sad because I don't have a lot of voice depth. So once we cancel out one of my voice characters, the next character arrived can't be like, how the bloody hell are you? It's
Yeah.
You're like, oh, who's this one? Oh, she's the shopkeeper.
G'day, governess.
Dutch is still underwater. Things are still happening under there. Loot, though, is now considering leaping in after him. He's climbing the side of the boat, utterly distraught. But that's all Loot's doing at this stage, which leads us back to Freya.
Can I please use my mage hand?
Mm-hmm.
And can I please get the blue gem?
Oh, going for the blue one? I'm going to roll first to see where they're going. Every time someone goes from, I check how much the boat has been tossing around. The blue one is closer to you right now. There you go. I'll roll the other ones, but yes, so you really only have to reach down and pick that up. You don't have to move or anything. It's sliding around. The red one is gone. The yellow one just got grabbed by a tentacle. See one of the tentacles slap down and instantly pulls back over the deck. It is gone.
Wait, yellow or red? Oh.
Yellow is gone.
Okay, yellow.
And... oh, the white one just went over the edge.
Oh, crap. So we got the blue, though.
You got the blue, which is pretty cool. As soon as the other gem falls over the side, all the tentacles retract and head back down to the depths from whence they came. The last thing they do is throw Dutch back towards the boat. Let's find out whether he actually lands on it. No? So he slams in. The boat isn't moving. It's up to you what you want to do at this stage. And Loot is already trying to figure out how to grab him, but he is floating face down in the water at this stage. Tentacles have buggered off.
Okay.
There is a strange golem who pretty much didn't get involved in anything at all. Anyway, what would you like to do, Freya?
There's some ropes on the boat.
There are definitely ropes on a
Great.
boat, yeah.
So I'm going to use my acrobatics, please, and then go down and grab him and then return.
I definitely want to see you do
just tie it
this.
around your waist, jump off the boat. Oh.
Not even tie it, just hang with one hand.
No, please don't check this. You've just said you're just going to not even tie it to anything. So Freya just leaps off the side of the boat.
Okay, but I catch the rope. I catch the other rope.
So you let me. Let's find out first whether your move is successful.
Oh, so it needs to be attached to the boat. I just thought that was like
already attached.
Yeah, exactly. It was part of the mask.
Yeah, the part of the mask. That's what I thought.
You really do know your boats. In a previous life, Freya was the queen of the seas. Okay, so Freya has just wrapped a rope around herself and leapt off the deck towards Dutch.
And I've
in a very
immediately
heroic
reached for
move.
the other end.
So let's just see how wonderful a move this was.
Ooh, 17 and 5.
You were definitely
23.
heading in the right direction, and you would probably swing directly towards Dutch if only you had tied off the rope to allow the swing part. So let's find out if Morrigan is...
So I'm doing that slide across the wet deck thing to grab the rope, and I brace my legs against the side of the boat to make sure I'm anchored.
This is good.
To really make sure that I've got her.
Let's see an athletics check first to see if we can give you some advantage.
Okay. And I need your faith in 20s. 20!
Oh my god.
-1, but that's still good.
20s don't get minused. You just get a 20. So
That is good.
That was to give you the athletics move. So you definitely pulled off the move, which gives you advantage on the
Listeners?
strength check.
Okay. You have never seen anything like it.
All right, can I have
And you won't, because this is not a visual medium.
So I get to roll 2.
2 and pick the highest. You got
Okay.
advantage from that excellent move.
Yeah. 16 and 18.
18 minus what? Minus 1? Are you minus 1 for strength?
I have no idea. Hey,
It's not going to matter. You're strong enough to do
How do
this.
you remember that?
You wedged it, because I know you're weak. So you wedge your feet against the edge, and miraculously, somehow this move works. Freya leaps off the boat. The rope isn't tied on. It doesn't matter because Morrigan launches over, grabs it, wedges her feet against the side of the boat. Freya swings down, grabs Dutch. Momentum throws him up on the side of the boat, and now Dutch is on board. He is, however, completely unconscious. Loot rushes over, of course, and the first thing Loot does is cure wounds, which really just stabilizes Dutch. He is still unconscious, but there are signs of life. They're not great. He's in deep trouble. I'm not going to lie, he's in deep trouble. The ship, on the other hand, now is lurching forward again, now that it's not being held. It's heavily damaged and rather difficult to steer. In the distance before, you realise there was some sort of island. You're still moving towards that. There is a lighthouse, but the light from the lighthouse isn't pointing towards the ocean. It's not really helping you too much. It's only that you're getting closer to it that you realise there's a lighthouse there in the first place. At this stage, what we're going to do is we're going to do a combined skill check, and that means everyone is going to look at their skills and try and think of a thing you could do that would help you get control of this ship again, or at least move things in the right direction. When we add your skill checks together, if we get in a certain area, certain things happen. So everybody think of what they could possibly do to control this ship.
I don't know the actual words for it, but I know when you want to move something really heavy, you can create use a pulley system with ropes, right? And the ship's hard to steer, blah blah blah. Isn't Freya super athletic and Kaa'Riin super strong? Could they use those skills to create a pulley and move the steering wheel in the direction we want to go?
Or at least control it, so you definitely, because you're going in the right direction, but it might not last. So yeah, you could definitely say, look, let's just hold it. Yeah, absolutely. What would you like to do?
I'll use my acrobatics and I'll control the ropes.
So you're going to do the ropes, acrobatics.
I'm going to steer.
Definitely going to be strength with the steering.
Well, ladies, I don't think I have a lot of valuable skills to actually help us with the ship.
It was your idea to put this whole lever system together, pulleys and levers. Do an intelligence check, and if you're successful with the intelligence check,
then the idea viable?
makes sense. Otherwise, you're just swinging around some ropes and some levers, and they're not doing anything valuable. Loot is so small. Loot really doesn't have a lot of options here, but he's worried about Dutch and everything like that. But now he's turning around to you, and he's going to give you a little bit of a speech.
I might just be a little mouth, but I know heroes when I see them, and you are heroes. And dying in your bed.
What?
Many years from now.
Luke, why'd you take it there?
Will you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance? Just one chance. So come back here and tell our enemies that you can take our lives, but you can never take our freedom!
Freedom!
Freya, you roll first.
An 18.
Nice one. Kaa'Riin, what do you got?
I'm going to follow it up with a 19.
Beautiful. Morrigan, don't let us down.
I've got this. It's a 4.
Sorry. A 4.
It's the dying in my bed bit. I'm not sure.
It's not too bad, actually. You're very close to controlling the ship there. You run the ship aground near the base of the lighthouse, near the village. There's a little village nearby. The ship will require some repairs to be refloated correctly. It's hits the sand pretty damn hard. But otherwise, it's possibly still useful. You didn't destroy the boat, which is nice.
Oh, good.
You are on board the boat. When it hits the sand, hits it really hard and knocks everyone to the shore. You've all been knocked to the beach. And Freya falls into the sand sparks a memory.
Hi, my name is Ange, and I'm playing the memory of Freya. Let's not worry about how you got onto this beach. Don't think about this cage with its rusted iron bars, but shiny, brand new lock. Ignore the fight going on around you, swords and guns, explosions and screams. Just focus on them. The giant brown bear and the woman with almost magically bright pink hair. You know they see you. They're running this way. Please, please. And then the lock is smashed. And then a voice sounds in your mind. Of course, says the voice. I should have known.
Now run, both of you. Get back to the boat.
The woman grabs your hand firmly and you run. At times it feels as though your feet barely touch the sand. You dodge the skirmishes breaking out all along the shore. Clashing metal and the bursts of bombs accompany the roars of bloodlust. In the distance, beyond the battle, a ship floats alongside a jetty. It looks almost calm by comparison. Get back to the boat. Get back to the boat. You run up the wooden ramp and leap onto the deck. A grim array of sailors stands to greet you, an unwashed combination of parental disappointments struggling to make a full collection of teeth. The taller one, wearing an elaborate hat and a long brown coat, doesn't even turn around.
Might as well throw those ones in too, eh?
And the sailors rush towards you. Behind you, from the end of the jetty, the bear roars.
Back to the boat. Like we were on... Well, it was them. Were on the boat before?
Someone says, when you say get back to the boat, I guess you could say the person saying it to is saying they came from the boat, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's possible as well. Or that you were delivered on the boat. All of those things are possible.
And Dutch, the guy that's currently unconscious that we could easily throw overboard, was the one that put us in the cage.
He didn't stop you from going into the cage.
Bastard.
Or was it a guy's, like just...
When you say guys, like he's trying to fit in with the other people on the boat.
Yeah, he's
that
just
are
like,
all...
I'm with you guys. Check them out.
Okay.
I'll let you out later.
The sun is breaking as you find your feet on the sand of the
Yay.
beach. The storm is moving further out to sea. Through the golden light of the dawn, a new light shines through. Beaming down from the lighthouse, nebulous orange light streaks across the beach until it finds the sailor who was with you on board. It locks onto his body and freezes still, and he begins to disintegrate. You will have one turn to decide what to do as he fades into the sand.
We need to run. I can't fight a disintegrating light.
From where you're standing, you're looking at that thinking, oh, it was looking for him.
Right.
You can do, there's lots of different options you can do. I mean, you've got your skills there you can look at and say, I'd like to do this. I mean, you could be pushing him out of the way, which I would probably not recommend.
Because he was all zombified. Like he
Yeah.
was almost dead and then he crawled out like some weird, creepy thing.
Yeah. You're close enough to him, you can do two things. You can use your perception if you want to see if you recognise anything as it's disintegrating. Or you could use an investigation. You'd be a bit closer to do an investigation, but you might be better at that from closer up.
Do we each get a turn or just...
Everybody can make a decision. And you could do the other thing of going, oh, fuck this, I'm out of here. Your call.
An investigation. I'm going to do an investigation. Yeah.
Everyone a D20 and add your investigation modifier.
15.
2.
I rolled a...
Plus 3.
Yeah. I rolled a 19 plus 3. No, 2.
You notice an interesting tattoo high up on his shoulder, and you feel as though you have seen these markings before. The inked version of the tattoo fades first. The black ink of a normal tattoo fades away, leaving a bit of a blue outline. Morrigan, you can actually already sketch this from memory. The rest of you don't quite get enough of a look at it to think like that. As it goes from blue, so from black into blue and into red tendrils that also fade away. So like a living tattoo. Loot, on the other hand, at this stage, having seen this, is already starting to try and drag Dutch off the beach. There are the sounds of a village nearby, and as I said, sun was breaking, it's dawn, some people are up, there's the sounds of early morning businesses. This is a fishing village. There are a few boats and the sound of those bells that ring in movies that are about fishing villages. Well, Loot wants to get Dutch somewhere safe. Loot does have some money, so does Dutch, although it probably fell out when he was being dangled around before. Loot just wants to get into a room so he can try and heal him. The lighthouse itself, the orangey light, seems to look around again as if just to do another quick search, but then flickers and fades as though it's run out of power. This place seems to rely rather heavily on magic. There are street poles that have little creatures inside that are illuminating the roads. Even though the morning is coming, there's still blue light emanating from those. There are people coming and going, normal business people, fishermen, bakers, that sort of thing, and normal shops. This town looks a little bit poor in some areas, thatched huts, wood. And then in the distance you see some richer sort of places that sort of look over the beach more, like a touristy sort of village. The rich people can come here, but the poor people have to work here. There's a little inn. Lute says, let's go in here, pays the man, and gets you a room on the second floor. You're all exhausted.
Well, do we just sleep? Is this the rest? Is this the long resting when we get our stuff back?
Yep.
That'd be a good idea, probably. Now, as you're drifting off to sleep, Dutch is blabbering, coming in and out of consciousness. First thing he says, got to get them home. Get them home. A little bit after that, leave the marks. No, change the marks. And he reaches out to try and grab one of you. I'm going to let you pick who he tries to grab.
I'll take the fucker.
Dutch grabs you and pulls back the top. Can you describe your clothing to me? Because I don't exactly know whether he's able to do this.
I'm wearing a green boob tube and a wrap skirt that is very open on one leg. In fact, it's basically a sarong.
All right. He pulls aside the only part of the sarong that seemed to be actually covering anything on your shoulder and reveals the tattoo on your shoulder.
Cool, I have a tattoo. Awesome.
And it looks similar to, but a little bit different from the one you saw on the sailor.
Which is why it was familiar to me.
Yes.
I want the girls to strip down so I can see if they got any tattoos.
Well, there you go, episode 2, and the ratings have dropped so far that we've already decided to go straight for nudity.
Could be there in the middle of my back.
Oh no, it's a skag tag. I didn't.
No, a tramp stamp?
Tramp stamp, skag tag.
Skag tag.
Lower back.
It's
Back
neither
in the
of
olden
those
days,
six.
they used to use that. In the olden days, yeah.
Oh, back at the turn of the century when we invented tattoos.
Strip down. Let's see if we have matching tattoos.
Oh, sure. I mean,
Let's see if they actually want to do.
She said sure.
Are you going to agree with this straight away?
I'm very comfortable with my body. Kaa'Riin's body.
You were naked before she asked. Hey
I
everyone,
was already sitting down.
everyone, I'm nude.
Shit, let's get and I was like, say no more.
What part do you want to look at? Yes, you both have tattoos, and they look exactly the same.
That's how we're connected.
Mine's my right butt cheek. It represents me. And should we feel bad for this poor sailor? Like, were we friends? Were we family? Were we?
Oh, yeah.
But hold on, if he had one, does that mean all the weird body part sailors had one too? And like, can we fall apart and become evil body parts?
You do know that your tattoo is different from the one of the sailor.
Okay, cool.
Very similar, but there were enough differences in it that you didn't have the same tattoo. But it is a very arcane-looking script, I guess you could say, on your shoulder. It is very arcane, but little brush strokes, I guess, could make a difference to that tattoo very quickly. He had different brush strokes.
And we all have exactly the same.
And a quick look at all of yours, they are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Did we just get like drunk one night together and be like,
Bad tattoos.
should we get tattoos? We can commemorate this.
The last thing he says before passing out is, not dead. Not now. Nothing kills Harkon. And then he's out cold. Lute curls up on the floor next to him and pulls a little bit of the blanket over him. And do you guys feel like having a rest?
Nap time.
Yeah, nap time.
So because you're exhausted, this doesn't take long for you to sleep. You normally need about 8 hours to have a long rest, and it gives you back a whole bunch of your hit points and all these bits and pieces. All of your spells come back. All of your abilities to go crazy and rage out all come back. Actually, during the night, while you're sleeping, you do feel as though you are experiencing Dutch's dreams.
Hi, my name's Matt, and this is the memory of Dutch. The bear roars from the beach. It watches as the boat edges away, but the boat is slow. There's still time. The tide is against it. The waves smash it back towards the jetty. A hiss of gas, a spark, and a growled command see the ship lift skyward. Still too slow.
Come on, you old lump. Run, fly, do whatever it takes.
He's not talking to the boat. Behind the bear, the soldiers, once caught off guard by the surprise attack, are now regaining their composure. They form into ranks and march towards the lumbering vessel. The bear stands between them. Its eyes connect with the captain, and while neither utters a sound, their years of friendship are spoken. A sense of duty overcomes an awareness of loss. The captain turns to the ship. The bear turns to face the odds. The unmistakable crackle of arcane anger rips the air asunder. From a tear in the clouds, a streak of purple iridescence smashes into the beast. Tendrils of light burrow into its skin. It lifts its head and howls in pain. Its flesh bursts into shapes. Dark shadows of other animals slip forth from within before being pulled back inside. The bear slams a paw into the ground, and for a moment, the light diminishes. A voice grows across the shoreline. The light intensifies with each word. "You've done enough, you old fool. You've done everything I needed." On the boat, Captain Dutch hears the last cry as his eyes narrow. He turns to the crew, slowly retrieves 2 pistols from his side, roars into the sky, and starts firing.
Is the bear dead?
Yes.
I would say that Dutch certainly thinks so.
Okay.
Dutch, and they were definitely friends. Dutch has turned away at the last minute to say, "I recognise what you're doing, and now I'm going to do this bit." Remember earlier, Dutch also, one of the things said, "Don't die," and he said a name.
Archon or something.
Harkon, yeah, Harkon.
Is that the bear?
That's the name of well, in this situation, the bear, who was also an owl earlier.
Yeah, he can change, obviously, because when he got sliced, all these animal spirits kind of came out and then come in. He's a druid, yeah.
So you're asleep right now. What I'll get you to do is, while you're asleep, everyone roll a perception check for me.
14 plus 1, so 15.
15.
16.
8.
Very bad at this. When you wake, you notice items are missing from the room. Kaa'Riin, your boots are gone. Freya, your belt. Morrigan, you wake suddenly and notice the window is open. Curtains are blowing in the wind.
Sweet. So I'm going to jump up and have a look out that window and see if I can see the dumbasses that tried to get us. I meditate semi-consciously.
Yep.
How did I not?
Which is why you actually noticed a little bit more than everyone else did, even though you didn't roll as well.
Yeah. They're still snoring.
You went, just take my belt, fine, fuck off.
It was uncomfy anyway.
And don't forget her boots.
Yeah, I'm jumping up and running to the window to see what the hell's going on. Investigating or whatever?
Yeah. When you make it to the window, there is no one to be seen.
Damn.
They are quick. When the morning comes, you notice the things that are missing, of course. I mean, you'd kind of notice them during the night, but there was nothing really left to do except try and secure the room a bit better and go back to sleep. In the morning, Loot requests 3 items from the town's marketplace. He wants you to find something called Sniffle Shade, Autumn Root, and Shavings of Moonlight. He thinks he can make something that will help Dutch recover.
Aww.
Dutch does not wake up. He stays in that semi-conscious, blabbering fool sort of mindset and doesn't move too well. But Loot gives you basically a handful of coins to find these 3 items. He says you should be able to retrieve them from the town, and he looks at you with pleading eyes.
What are they called again?
Eyes.
No. The items.
Spell that for me.
Sniffle Shade.
Okay, nice.
Sniffle Shade, Autumn Root, and Shavings of Moonlight.
Hey, Loot, seeing as you're sending us on this mission, do you mind if we just quickly check Dutch for any tattoos?
Loot's a bit protective now, but he looks at you as though it was a strange question to ask in the first place.
Yeah, okay.
As though, and says, of course he has one.
Okay. Thank you. What do you say, girls? You want to go shopping?
Yes.
Someone else's money.
You need a belt.
And Italian boots.
Of course they're Italian.
Can I send the girls? I've got no shoes.
Just walking. I'll go later.
Keep picking out some shoes, come back, and then I'll go get these Shavings of Moonlight.
Check to see if you're the same size as Dutch.
Perception check. I want to go to see.
Who's got good sleight of hand? Can we rob someone in the end of their shoes?
I have 7.
Oh, can we rob someone in their shoes?
That's exceptional.
That's Robin Hood.
That's +7. Yeah, that's very good. I think it's going to be reasonably hard to take someone's boots off while they're wearing them.
Well, no, from a room.
But we didn't actually check Dutch's feet. There's no reason why you couldn't look at Dutch's feet. He's not using the boots.
Yeah.
We're just going to find out whether he's the same size. So we're going fully random on that. Roll a d20. Let's say anything less than 10.
What'd you say? 20.
No,
Perfect.
I saw the first one. I was going to say anything less than
Can
10.
I save the 20 for my next one then?
His feet are too small, but you can get them on.
Oh,
that's
okay,
blisters.
fine. All right, so I wiggle into them. My toes are curled up, but I'm like, this is fine. And I'm just doing like that little you know.
But like, you're super strong. Can you just bust your toes through?
Raging out.
It's like, I'm fine. I'm too stubborn. I'm too embarrassed. Like, no, these are fine, but I'm walking
Fashion is
very
pain.
gingerly. I'm just like.
Excellent. Well, you'll take no disadvantage if you have to do any running or jumping or anything like that because now you've got shoes on. Although in bare feet, you wouldn't have been that bad in the first place. The road to the marketplace is quite busy. There are people coming and going, a multitude of races living in harmony, relative harmony. Their clothes indicate there is a wide gap in wealth, though, from heavy tweeds to fine silks. It becomes clear that the village of Bellison is both a fishing village and a seaside getaway. Can I get everyone to give me a perception check, please?
14.
19.
6 + 1, so I got 7.
Kaa'Riin, you notice that people keep moving quickly out of your way, but not really noticing you. They're getting out of the way of the group. So you're probably quite used to people getting out of your way, but in this situation, you're like, they're not really moving.
Intimidatingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're also not really looking at you in this situation. So that confuses you. You're thinking, hang on a second, surely they're moving because of me. Wait a minute, they seem to be moving because of the group. Freya, you notice that the people seem to be enamored by Morrigan. They're trying to stare without being seen. Some children are running between buildings and carts trying to keep up with your group, oblivious to how obvious they're actually being, of course. And Morrigan, you can hear some of the whispers from the crowd. One of them says, "Are you sure?" The other one says, "I heard she was dead."
Imagine this. The best pasta sauce you have ever tasted sits abandoned on a plate. Wasted sauce. That is a tragedy. If only you had used Barilla al Bronzo pasta. Its bronze-cut texture holds your sauce and scoops up every last drop. The Italians call that scarpetta. Capture sauce the Italian way. Barilla al Bronzo. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Choice Hotels gets you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. Like with the road trippers we see here in their natural habitat, the breakfast area at a Comfort Inn. Here's a dad teaching his son how to make waffles. Fluffy, golden waffles. There's a mom making sure her daughter eats some fruit to avoid the "I'm hungry" from the back seat. And a sibling standoff over the last muffin. This is the cycle of vacation maximizationing in all its glory. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
My name is Lily, and I've had hidradenitis suppurativa, HS, for years. I finally found some relief since taking Cosentyx. Relief means I can show up more.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe hidradenitis suppurativa, HS. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
If you're looking for an epic, all-ages tabletop role-playing adventure, check out the newest addition to the Critical Role podcast network, The Reslayer's Take.
Taking place in the fantasy world of Exandria, you'll be guided through the wild continent of Isilra, home to some of the most dangerous creatures. Here, the Slayer's Take is the most notorious monster hunting group in the realm and has victoriously battled many ferocious mythic beasts.
But when this group's previously slain creatures start returning from the grave, it's up to 6 misfit mercenaries to band together and re-slay these supernatural threats as the Reslayer's Take.
This special actual play podcast is lovingly edited into 30 to 60-minute episodes, making it a perfect first dip into the world of tabletop role-playing games. The party is led by a duo of game masters, myself, George Primavera,
and me, Nick Williams, with the main cast including Jasmine Bilar, Jasper William Cartwright, Caroline Lux, and Jasmine Chong.
So go check out the Reslayer's Take. Listen to new episodes every Monday anywhere you stream podcasts or receive early ad-free access at beacon.tv.
The shops of the marketplace are a mix of low-level fish carts providing food for the locals and higher-end trinketry designed to wean outsiders from their gold. There are blacksmiths selling wares, alchemists mixing questionable fluids, a herbalist selling weight loss man shakes, of course, and an array of leaves and bushes. You can buy clothes here if you had enough money. Boots are for sale, belts perhaps. Around the edge of the marketplace, there are 3-metre tall statues, 6 of them, mostly spread out equally, each of them looking out in different directions. There seems to be wider gaps between some of them, but on the other side of the market.
Are they all looking away from the village?
They're all looking away from what would be like the town centre.
Yeah.
So the statues you can see are very proud in their stance. They've got chins raised as their eyes look towards the horizon. They are well maintained.
Do the statues all look the same?
One of them is a tall man with a heavy beard wearing equally heavy clothing of furs and leather. Another is a dwarven woman, also with a beard, of course, proudly wielding a mighty hammer in one hand and clutching valuable gems in the other. A young human woman is also immortalised in stone, her hands lifted into the skies as though calling upon something quite heavenly.
Can I investigate those stones, gems that the dwarf and bearded lady is holding?
In her hand they just look like the sort of things that dwarves like to mine. So it's an array of things. It's wealth. Dwarves like to show off strength and wealth.
Seeing clues where there ain't clues.
Well, I tell you what, roll me an Arcana check. This is something you haven't done before. Arcana represents your knowledge of magic. And as things are slowly coming back to you now, you've experienced your own memories, other things are slowly coming back.
Oh, Lana.
I'm a bad roller. I rolled a 2, and even with my +4, that's still shite.
Yeah, that is pretty rubbish. Look, you can't make out the other statues clearly enough because of the hustle and bustle. This doesn't mean this is the only time you could look into it, but it doesn't immediately strike you as important. Where would you like to go?
Can I investigate and ask one of the villagers what the statues mean?
Yeah, you can do that. Who do you want to talk to? There's a whole bunch of different sort of people. What kind of person do you think? There's a man actually working on something near one of the statues. You can probably talk to him.
I'll ask him.
Okay. He's a little bit surprised that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Who comes up and says, where have you come from if you don't know what the statues are?
A boat.
To be fair, that is all she knows.
Yes, across a mighty sea. I can understand that. You come from elsewhere, you don't understand. The statues are some of the Justicars, the leaders of the area. And if you look carefully on the ground, you see that even though there's carts and things all above it and straw and strewn out bits and pieces, there are intricate carvings in the stone that look like some sort of symbol. And he says, yes, this is the symbol that allows the Justicars to teleport into the village if we need them to make quick decisions.
What are Justicars?
Consider them like a judge or somebody important enough that it would have to come to town and say, I need you to follow these rules. But all of the statues are, as I said, well maintained. They're very well looked after.
Yeah. Do the statues point in the direction that those people come from?
He looks at you like you're crazy because some of the statues are looking at the ocean.
Yeah, fair.
Just because it's a circle. They look like they're meant to be spread out equally, but as I said, there are a couple of gaps.
Do we recognize any of the symbols? Because we have symbols on us.
Roll me another Arcana.
Okay. But a better one.
Hopefully one that actually gives you some information.
All right. 11 + 4.
Some of the statues have markings in the same position as you of other tattoos or similar tattoos to the one that you all had. When I say similar, I mean, remember, we said the sailor had a similar one as well. So these ones have markings on them that look very similar to yours, although these ones all have some minor difference to the one you have.
So are we one of them?
Yeah, we're a statue.
Well, as I said, you all have
an
slightly
person.
Different markings to the...
Justicars? Are we Justicars?
Are we Justicars but for another village?
The statues that you see looking out over the villages and all that sort of stuff do not look like you.
Can I ask this dude or anyone that has been whispering about me who they think I am?
He lowers his eyes for a moment as if he doesn't really know whether he should answer the question, and he makes some sort of excuse about being busy and heads off into the crowd.
Yeah, remember that guy that was selling man shakes?
That's the elderly woman.
Oh, sorry. Did you say she had a beard?
Dwarven women have beards.
I reckon that person doing the man shakes would have some snipple shakes. I think snipple shake is actually a key ingredient of those man shakes.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm following your lead. Let's go over to the old mate.
Get your sniffle shade man shakes. Get them in. And by the way, this is another woman's voice. But it is an old woman, and she's trying to sell you the... well, she looks up and she's calling out man shakes, but when she sees you arrive, she knows you guys do not need man shakes, so she stops that straight away, and she looks for a second and says, what could you possibly need from me?
Sniffle shade, autumn, root,
shavings
of
moonlight.
Well, I have all three.
Well, does anyone have good persuasion? Do you have another plan?
Yeah, I mean, you could, if your persuasion could be also negotiating, you could be trying to knock her down a notch.
It's a bit nicer than tricking
What
her.
I might do really quickly is get each of you to roll perception. Kaa'Riin, can you roll with disadvantage? That's 2, pick the lowest. Freya, you're rolling with advantage. And Morrigan, you're also rolling with advantage.
Did you say I had to pick the lowest?
Yep.
I rolled a 15 and a 20, of course.
Oh, nice.
So I'll take the 15.
16.
16.
Ditto.
And what's your perception again? It's +1, so it's 17.
Not ditto.
That's not too bad at all. Okay, Kaa'Riin, the first thing for you is you notice footprints in the ground that you decide are clearly your boots. Realistically, you can't be absolutely certain, but you're looking on the ground saying, that looks like my boot print right there.
Italiano leather.
That is an Italian leather boot print if I've ever
I
seen one.
sniffed that and I'm like, that's 100% Italian leather.
Yeah.
That's Italian leather. I 100% know that's my boot.
Freya, you notice 2 young girls, young teenagers possibly, walking behind the medicine table. So walking behind, I say the medicine table, the alchemist table.
Bitch just got my belt on, doesn't she?
You can't see that, unfortunately. You can see that one of them bumps the shopkeeper. You can see that because you're all skilled in stealing stuff as well. So you, I know this move. So one of the young girls bumps the shopkeeper, and when doing that, the other one uses the opportunity to steal some of the shavings of moonlight from the table. Morrigan, the statues are still drawing your attention.
Yeah.
More specifically, one of the gaps between them where a recently smashed statue lies in ruin. There's something awkwardly familiar about it. The hair is intricately carved into curls like flames. You roll over the dislodged head, and the people near you stop moving and watch in shock. Staring back at you are the granite eyes of the statue of Morrigan. Not only that, you notice around the neck of this very crudely decapitated head, there is this necklace with 5 gems.
Oh, no.
And we've got...
And while you are staring at the statue, you feel a bump and you hear a giggle. And then you see 2 girls running into the crowd. And what do you think is missing?
My freaking gems.
I've got one. You've only got one.
I've only got one. She's got one.
I've got the blue one.
That's true.
Yep, I've only got one. Still,
we're going after them.
I was just feeling very mad. I was just going to pick up that head and be like, who did this? Who did this? I'm just going to run and throw the head at the kid. Yes!
Oh.
Yeah, I've started running and I can see her. I'm like, stuff ya. I know there's people there, but I'm pretty strong. Got this stone head of Morrigan. I'm going to chuck it and I want to hit this girl and knock her out. Not knock her out. Not kill her.
Not necessarily.
Knock it down.
I want answers. Do you know what I mean? When you come to, we're going to interrogate you, but she's knocked out enough for us to take that gem and give it back to Morrigan.
There's a minor problem. This is a very busy marketplace.
Oh, shit.
So this isn't going to be the easiest straw
Okay.
about maybe hitting someone else, but I recognise at this stage you may not care. The 2 girls quickly duck into the crowd, vanishing into the busy villagers, who barely seem to even notice the incident, as if this is quite normal around here anyway. Why would anybody notice this sort of thing? You launch this statue head at them. Roll me a d20.
11.
And plus your strength.
My strength
Strength modifier.
is +3.
Man, you keep doing that, don't you? Because 15 was the number to beat. You got a 14.
Can we still see them?
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. They're still the same distance. You guys haven't done anything yet. Okay. So it's 1 out of 3.
I have this misty step which allows me to teleport up to 5 meters. I'm going to teleport right in front of these cheeky little bitches.
Okay, they are smaller than you, but they're going to try and barrel straight through you. It's your strength if you want to tackle them down, and it could go against their strength. Or you might want to use your dexterity to see if you can sort of wrap yourself around them. See what happens in that situation.
Well, my strength is -1, my dexterity is +1, so let's go with the better odds and
All
do
right,
+1.
let's see if they manage to dodge you.
Roll big.
13. No.
And what's your dexterity?
1.
Okay, no, they managed to sidestep you. You are right up next to them from now on. You're getting a little bit closer to them already. Freya, what would you like to do?
I'm going to use my acrobatics
Okay.
to
Like weaving and through
That's it.
stalls and
That's
stuff.
it. Yes, weave through the stalls.
Give me an acrobatics check, please.
15.
Okay, now that is a success, so you're moving very quickly and the people aren't in your way. Nicely done. Now, as the thieves reach the edge of the markets, they duck behind the towering statues. From where you are, you can see that there are only 2 roads that they could take out of the town square. One is up the hill, and the other one is across a bridge. Everyone give me an insight check. So it's a D20, and you've got a skill there for insight.
18.
14.
6.
What you know from the thieves, you are a thief yourself, so you're looking at this going, well, they're not going to the rich part of town. Thieves aren't rich, they're poor people who are trying to become rich. So you're thinking they're not likely to go to the touristy part of town where the nicer stuff is. They're probably running towards the bridge because it looks like that bridge is going to a part of the fishing village, the normal neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you could probably preempt which way they're going and get ahead of them. You also notice that while there is a bridge, there's also a bit of a shortcut straight across the river.
Perfect. I'm going to continue running through the river.
It's not really fast flowing or anything, but it is slippery. Give me a dexterity check.
Yeah. 5.
It's a 5.
I'm slipping over, aren't I?
Freya has slipped over in the water and is being washed downstream. It doesn't look threatening by any means. It just kind of looks embarrassing.
That superwoman's gone.
You're like, oh, I wish I had my belt. Actually, even better, one of the girls looks back and makes it clear that she's wearing your belt.
I'm so tempted to just fucking attack these people.
Freya is washing away down the river, which
She's fumbling
isn't threatening.
in water.
You're not looking at thinking, oh my god, the rapids
She's
or the
capable of
prize.
getting out of that
She's
river.
fine, but she's just much further behind now. You were a little bit further behind because you did a big launch, but you're pretty quick, so you're catching up. You could split up and try and do something different if you wanted to. On the other side of the bridge, well, let's see what you notice. Give me another perception check and see what we can see. Freya, you got nothing. Don't even try.
4.
All right.
+1.
This isn't your village. You don't know it well. It's not like you can see a little alleyway and say, quick, go around the alleyway. It'll lead to here. It is tough for you to notice that sort of stuff. Okay, so we all cross the bridge. You're a little bit further behind them, and you find yourself in a street with carts and labourers animals around. The 2 girls are pulling down barrels of things, and fruit and fish are sliding across. Give me a dexterity check to see if you stay on your feet. Not you, Freya. You're still in the river.
No.
19. Plus 1.
20.
15 in total.
Okay, well, for some strange reason, sliding across fish doesn't bother you. Perhaps it was the practice you had on the boat with the tentacles, but it doesn't bother you. You go straight through this section, and I'll count that as another success. You are getting much closer to them. You see the girls leap over a wooden fence into what looks like an animal pen. In fact, it is a drove of pigs. That's right.
Oh, I got this.
I looked up a collective noun for you people. There you go.
Thank you.
They're called a drove
You
of
got
pigs.
an animal thing, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to get these pigs to surround these bitches.
Oh.
Worse still, your boots are definitely getting mud on. The Italian leather.
Are the girls wearing
the girls
the
are
Italian
wearing my
leather?
Italian leather.
Yeah.
That's fine because Italian leather is high quality, so it cleans well and it's everlasting, which is why I bought them in the first place. All right, so we have gone in there. Those dumbasses have gone into this trove.
A drove of pigs.
And I'm like, joke's on you.
I speak drove.
I speak drove. We have a lot in common.
These pigs don't know you, and you got to think sometimes when you're talking to animals, it's just whatever you ask them is exactly the same as if you asked it to a person who doesn't know you on the street. So if you walk up and go, hey, I want you to do this elaborate thing, and the person says, I am not interested in that, it's going to be a bit harder. So you've pretty much got to give them, it's what's in it for the pig. And they're also, most animals aren't that smart. So you can't go for something too good.
Pigs are actually highly intelligent.
They're a little bit better off than most of them, but this is not Babe.
I'm going with it.
If I've got +2 animal handling, can I give her an assist or something?
You can ride one. I mean, she's talking to one.
Ride a pig.
Well, you got to catch one. They are hard to catch. I have seen that.
Now Freya is sprinting and also getting ready to saddle up.
You're like, there's pig right and I'm up.
All right, what do you want to say to the pig?
I'm like, look, you guys look really unhappy. I'm going to release you if you help me out. Surround these twins. Surround the twins. Don't let them out of here. You're strong. You're muscular. Don't let them out of here.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm going to
you.
force a dexterity check on both twins because they're now being surrounded by these girls can move, but at the same time they weren't really expecting the pigs to suddenly surround them, and one of them fails. One of them splashes down into the mud. The girl wearing the boots keeps going. Those boots help. And the other girl splashes down in the mud, but the first girl stops and turns around to go and get the other.
I'm going to shoot a freaking bolt of fire into the air and tell the one that's turned around, okay, you stay here, you stop running, or the next one's going to her.
Okay, so you launch the firebolt into the sky, and the people in this area scatter. This is not something they were expecting, someone launching fire into the air. So all the people who work there start running. The people had already been looking at you weird, as you probably expect at this stage, so they were a little bit terrified when you started doing. Actually, very terrified. You noticed that about them. The city guards start coming in from the edge of the video. They grab the two girls.
No, Morrigan!
They grab the two girls and start to drag them away. One of the girls winks at you as if she's not even remotely worried about this situation.
No, she's not.
Being captured by the city guards. And I'm going to let you have one action before they get dragged off. You should note, the city guard, as they're dragging these people away, says, "You know the penalty for these crimes? You will be executed in the morning."
No, they freaking won't. They'll get out of it. They're slippery little weasels. They'll take our shit with them. It'd be irresponsible to attack these guards. Hey, they're just doing their job.
The guards look significantly stronger than anything that you've messed with, and well armoured.
And they can't be reasoned with?
The guards? I don't see why not.
Morgan, they fear you. I'll be like, do you know who I am?
Well, I was one of those statues, and those statues are important people that come in to make decisions and
a destroyed
shit, right?
statue.
Yeah, destroyed. Well, yeah. But they thought I was dead, maybe.
Yeah, they could have been destroying it because they thought you were dead. That makes some sense.
They still fear me. So surely I still have some power here.
Let's find out. What do you want to tell them?
I want to tell them that these girls are mine to make a judgment on, not theirs.
I'm going to let you roll with advantage on this one.
Okay. 20!
The guards suddenly recognize you as if they're stunned that they hadn't noticed you before. Sorry, ma'am. Of course.
Ma'am?
Absolutely. These guys think that you are someone of extreme importance, and they are fearful. This is not you're just powerful. This is we don't want to be feeling the wrath that you deliver.
Damn straight.
So they hold the two girls in front and say, "Would you like them executed now, Your Majesty?"
If they like Your Majesty much better than ma'am. What do you reckon, girls? Do we just want our stuff back?
We just want our stuff back.
The girls start pleading, please, we'll give you...
We want to question
one of them starts taking the boots off straight away. Freya arrives in the background, and these girls went from thinking they were fine to thinking they're in much deeper trouble when you arrived.
Yeah.
I find out that also, too, if they know who you are.
Yeah.
Did you know who you were stealing
strangely, what they do know is they know who Freya is.
Ooh.
They nervously laugh when they see you, and it was just a game. We were just trying to show you what we could do. We're just showing you what we could do.
They're older
They're my sisters.
And one of them, starts taking off the boots, and the other one grabs...
You must be a well-known thief, and they're trying to impress you with their thieving skills.
Because they're my sisters.
I reckon they're her younger sisters.
Yes.
That you can probably tell that you're not directly related to them, but there are similarities between you. They are younger, in a position where they would want to impress somebody. They take off the boots and push them to you straight away. They take out the shavings and moon dust, and they nervously hand them to you.
And the belt and the gem, ladies.
And of course, they hand back the gem, and they just look at you as though, please forgive us. We didn't think we were causing the problem we've caused. Behind you, you hear a ruckus as though more things are being pushed over, and there are more city guards approaching.
Who we'd have to re-deceive. We might want to get out of here.
Everyone's going to roll a wisdom check.
12.
16.
8.
You two turn around to see the other guards. Freya, you watch the two girls as their faces change and they turn into two boys.
Cool.
Slide away, push themselves away from the guards. The guards seem nervous for a second, and they head off into the back streets.
Yeah. No wonder they weren't worried about the guards. They could turn into anyone.
The changelings were thieves was tragically the accepted expectation throughout Kaa'Riin. They were, as a people, despised and distrusted but throughout the criminal world, respected and feared. Within themselves, they were nothing more than those who needed hope as much as they needed food. The twins had heard of such hope. They'd heard the stories that ricocheted across the land as wanted posters engulfed city walls, and candlelight tales brought warmth to their cold nights. Like others, they thought, it can't be true. But mystery spurns questions, and questions spurn lies, and lies are built on truths. There was hope. The twins returned home, a hovel in the back streets of nowhere. They pulled a sheet closed across a hole in a damaged wall, turned towards a crowded room of children, and brought light to a candle with a few muttered words of enchantment. Eyes widened in new illumination. Kind gratitude followed broken pieces of bread as they were passed around the room, accompanied by the silence of hunger being held at bay for just one more meal. One of the twins held a belt before the tiny flock. We have a news story, they said, and the children smiled.
You decide to take your medicine back to
Yeah, we're going to help
Dutch.
Butch. Oh, shit.
I'm called something completely different. And take it back to Dutch.
We
Luke
haven't got
grabs
the
everything,
other
starts
stuff.
to grind. Yeah, they gave you the shavings
Yeah,
that I mentioned.
they
I
gave it
assumed that you bought the other stuff from the
Oh,
ladies
yeah,
before.
okay, cool.
I just thought that transaction was still finishing beforehand. Yeah, you got the stuff. Luke's mixing it up to try and make some sort of unfortunate thick paste that's not going to be delicious, and he forces that into Dutch. And Dutch starts to rise. He's still not looking well, but he looks at each of you and says, "There's something we need to talk about."
Finally.
And that's where we'll end our episode.
Don't worry about them. I'm sure they'll be fine. It's just a sudden ending. It happens all the time. So maybe there's danger or just a clever line. But don't worry about them. I'm sure they'll be fine. Right?